For over 20 years now, Faypenn has been the premier economic development organization in Fayette County. One need do nothing more than drive through the various industrial parks to see the enormous benefit that their activities have incurred for the county and for the many people who work in those businesses and industries.
In the early 90s, we were still in the aftermath of the departure of the steel industry. The coal industry was down. Our unemployment rates were very high. We were stagnant. We weren't moving forward. We weren't growing. It was some rough times here in Fayette County, in fact, all over western Pennsylvania. And so the idea was if we could form this agency and we all got together and we worked and we persevered and committed ourselves to a future here for Fayette County, that we could make a difference.
When I came to town in 1982, my room in downtown Uniontown was the only vacant room that was available, and by 1992 it kind of felt like I was one of the only rooms that was occupied downtown. So Faypenn's mission became here as the jobs left. Faypenn had stepped to the plate to foster that economic development, to identify opportunities, to bring employment opportunities back to the county and the area, after our coal and steel industries had went through a period of prolonged decline.
Dad's vision was that Faypenn would build upon the earlier successes and activities of organizations such as Greater Uniontown Industrial Fund and bring more firepower to bear, so to speak, for the benefit of Fayette County and people who live here in terms of bringing additional industry into the county. And through the years, Faypenn has been eminently successful in that regard.
And we've worked with various state and federal agencies bringing tax dollars home that many of us have paid and many of our companies have paid to the state and federal sources, and these programs are set up to help areas like Fayette County that need help. So working with our local banks in conjunction with our local loan fund, we're able to offer reduced interest rates at fixed rates to offer very competitive, or in fact even better than market interest rates to help finance capital expansions for local companies.
Through the assistance of general finance of these various projects, they have assisted us in acquiring new equipment as well as expanding and making renovations to our facilities. Without the support of Faypenn, that we have participated with them since prior to 2004, they have just been very, very, very instrumental in our continued success and allowing us to sustain our business for this community.
From AAC's perspective, what Faypenn's done in our partnership is, again, when we were early on and we were a small business and small businesses struggle, they helped us with very effective loans. They helped us expand our building. They had the kind of power, the electricity, the technology in the building allowed us to go after programs that it would have been very difficult for us 8-9 years ago to compete for. If it wasn't for Faypenn and understanding the business environment the way they did, I would think AAC would not be here today. I just don't think we would be here.
Redstone Excavating communicates on a daily basis with Faypenn during the loan process and doing construction work for them. The people at Faypenn, Ron Cole and Linda Yohannick, they're great people and very easy to work with and for.
Faypenn is, they've introduced us to a lot of people. And as a entity, they've brought a lot of, with the business park, they brought a lot of new business to the region, and new business to the region always helps Nemacolin, where they introduce us to the leaders of that business, and we end up being able to meet them and do business with those companies.
Any new company coming in here that's unfamiliar with the area and unfamiliar with the people, Faypenn's got the network, they know those people and where to go and who to call when you need something.
What I would encourage businesses to do who are out there right now who aren't members of Faypenn to please get involved. Get involved. We need you and you need us. We need to partner.
Faypenn has offered many opportunities. The executive director, CEO, president, Mike Krjovic, has spent many hours of his own time, I think beyond even the workplace time, in meetings, in discussion, in helping develop strategic plans, making sure that everybody is aware of everybody else's plight. And I think that networking of that communication at the level that they're working with it can only help take us to that next step.
Faypenn has been the only economic development group in Fayette County that has worked specifically for the development and benefit of the people who live here. And when we talk about bringing companies into the area, they don't just fall in here. They're not, somebody out in the hinterlands is not looking, now where is Fayette County, we want to come and work here. It's our broadcasting of what Fayette County has to offer through all sorts of media across the country.
They know how to put a show forward and put the value and make you make a good decision about coming to Fayette County.
We are very blessed here within the Faypenn organization to have people who not only have ideas and thoughts and can execute, but it's people who have the ability to look nationally and in fact internationally.
I believe that the leadership at Faypenn has kept a broad perspective on seeing how we work here in the county, but also bringing the information that we need to take our endeavors into the world of the future.
You know, Faypenn makes a difference in the community by looking ahead. They're 20 years ahead of where this county needs to be and what we're doing. We have tremendous opportunity coming up in the next 20, 30 years. This county is poised for greatness, and Faypenn's going to be looking out for us all along the way.
Workforce development is so important because we truly are in a global economy. We have companies from all over the United States and in the world coming into Fayette County, looking at Fayette County to possibly locate their business here in the county. We have to have a well-educated and skilled workforce to accommodate these companies.
From the tourism perspective to the energy perspective to just the industry's perspective, there's a lot of stuff happening in Fayette County. You better stay on top of it or we'll miss out.
We want to attract businesses, we want to attract families here, and one of the first things that they look at is the educational system, the educational opportunities that are available in an area.
There are a lot of good paying jobs available in Fayette County that probably could step into right after high school graduation with the help of the vocational schools that we have in the area.
Economic development and education go hand in hand. And that's why Faypenn has shifted to try to get that message out starting many years ago, that we had employers starting to communicate that they aren't not able to find workers to fill existing positions. That problem has only become more intense in recent years, especially with the coming of the Marcellus shale gas industry. Right now, it's extremely important that we work with our school districts in trying to improve the education resources that we have available for our children. Every student
was going to need some kind of post-secondary education, but not necessarily a four-year degree. An apprenticeship, an associate degree, a technical degree. Faypenn has helped Laura Hines specifically in several ways. We started the National Academy Foundation, which were career academies. We have every student now, starting in 10th grade, take at least one career-related class each year and be in a career academy. We believe students need to start to look at careers. Faypenn has been very influential in providing in-service in those careers.
There is a large push from the educational community to look at something called STEM education, STEM being an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's the direction that we need to make sure that our students, our young students, starting in elementary school all the way through high school and then into college and so forth.
We've made changes in education, but they're not quick and they're not fast enough. We need to develop something new. The vocational school is one that served its purpose during its time, but the subject matter has to change. Not only is it the basic trades, but you need to get involved with all the math and science and the STEM products that are coming into play. Technology is not sitting still. It is continuing to grow each and every day. If we don't keep up with it, we're going to be left behind.
With the success of Faypenn, we've generated hundreds of millions of dollars of local payroll. These local payroll dollars circulate many times in the local economy. We primarily focus on manufacturing companies because it's a place where people go to get a paycheck. These manufacturers and their employees bring millions, have brought hundreds of millions of dollars into our local economy to help strengthen all aspects of our society. So our local economy initiative is about educating consumers about choices and small businesses about different services and products they can offer to help work together as part of our community to become more self-sustainable and resilient.
Faypenn has certainly increased the tax base by the new building construction that they've been promoting, helping to bring businesses in, putting them into new buildings. I can tell you, I love new construction, so anybody who helps the county do that, I'm going to be supporting those efforts 110%.
One thing about Mike, he's always looked at the green approach. You get some developers, they just come in one and wipe out everything. He doesn't do that. He wants a green community, something that's, call it environmentally balanced. Faypenn has looked at doing their development projects, but they've also taken our environment into hand. That's one of the things that's behind the scenes that you never see. They're taking that into consideration as well as their development. They're protecting our environment.
Faypenn has created and retained thousands of jobs and brought in countless companies in these business parks, and that trend needs to continue.
Studies have shown that 75% of money spent with local businesses will stay within the community, and every community needs that. Our country's in an economic crisis, and local economics can help us all.
That's what we all need to do, is think of locally owned and operated and buy local, which will help employ, create more jobs in our area, and with Faypenn's help, promoting the buy local.
The buy local program that's fairly recent, the resources devoted to that have helped expand agriculture in the county and keep it sustainable and relevant.
Stimulating other people's businesses brings in more jobs, it brings people in from the outside areas, and it helps us sustain ourselves. We have to depend upon ourselves ultimately.
It's all related. It's whether it be the restaurants or the hotels, we're all part of it. And I think, Faypenn is the center of the wheel that ties all these organizations and businesses together.
Faypenn has been instrumental for Christian W. Klay Winery in that they helped us with the value-added producers grant, but more so over the 20 years that we've been in business, their success has been a part of our success.
What I think needs to happen with the community is that they need to have a more forward thinking, as Faypenn has had, with regard to not thinking of how this is going to affect me in 6 months or 9 months or a year, but what's this place going to be like 20 years from now? And Faypenn has had that forward thinking all the time.
Everybody's here, I think, for the same reason, and that's to make Fayette County a better place to live and work. Wherever you do, wherever you go, whatever you touch, try to leave it a little better than when you got there. And through my association with Faypenn, I really feel that gives me the greatest opportunity to do that.
We need to continue to change attitudes, and we got to get people to believe in themselves. And I think that's done by, especially with the younger generation, is through education. To get more involved, not only in organizations like Faypenn, but get involved in your community. Give something back. If we all work together, we can make things happen here in Fayette County that we haven't seen for 50, maybe 60 years.
You get as much out of it as you put into it. So if you want to know what's going on, you need to be involved, and you're not gonna reap the benefits as much as if you're not involved with Faypenn. And hopefully every business and every community and every tourism operation gets involved with Faypenn, and you'll reap the benefits of what can be.
When we look back at the last 20 years at the accomplishments of Faypenn, we have to keep in mind the amount of effort that the community has put into supporting Faypenn. Just in a brief calculation, I would estimate probably about 10,000 volunteer hours have been put forth in running the organization from all the board members serving on all the committees. Bob Eberly first hired me. We both knew that the challenges were to improve the economy of Fayette County, and I think he would be very pleased to see that we've really shifted the paradigm in Fayette County from, where thousands of people used to be looking for work. Now we have companies that are looking for employees. So there still are challenges that we have to face. They're much different today than they were 20 years ago. But I think Bob Eberly would say, mission accomplished. We've done what we initially set out to do, and he'd be very pleased to see that we're moving in new directions and adjusting to meet the challenges of today, not only today, but also into the future. After 20 years, it's time to celebrate. A lot of people worked very hard to accomplish what we've accomplished. So let's take a deep breath, let's congratulate each other, let's have a great time tonight and enjoy the last 20 years, because we got a heck of a lot more work to do over the next 20 years.